In this introduction exercise, I will show you how, out of a basic box, together with push and pull, shell, and move command rotate, we can create this quite nice looking console table. We will touch upon how to use the browser, create components, stack everything correctly, add some very basic materials, and then also create a technical drawing based on this design. We will also cover how to create a new project into which then we will save all our files. With all that said, let's go. Before we get started modeling, I would like to give you a brief crash course in the interface of Fusion. It's pretty easy. Upper left corner, here we have all the icons for opening, saving, etc. This is our toolbar area. We have various modes, for example, making surfaces, making solids, tools, polygon meshes. Here in the browser, we will later see all our objects. Down here is the timeline, more tools for rotating, zooming, and display settings for our 3D view, the 3D view cube, so we can change our views, closing a design, making a new design, some more other stuff. And here we would like to go to preferences. Let's go to general. You want to have Z as default, and that is super important. The pan, zoom, and orbit, we will use Fusion 360, and the constraint orbit, that is what we want to use. Very good. Okay, then let's see. Go to design. Yep, that is good. Capture design history, parametric, that is what we want to have at the beginning. And simply copy the setting for all these check marks here. Then we can go to units and design. And here we can specify the unit we would like to work with a lot. For example, centimeters or inches. I work a lot with centimeters, so it's for you to decide. We can later also change this inside the document setting. And then we can click OK. And that is basically everything for the references. Now, to navigate the space, the middle mouse button is panning, shift, middle mouse button is rotating, and the scroll wheel is zoom in and zoom out. Very good. Let's go to the next part, how we can create our first geometry. Before we can model our concept model, we have to turn off the timeline. The timeline is what we see down here. And basically, think about the timeline as, well, the timeline of our work. So everything we do will be listed here, and then we can go forward and backwards. That's also called parametric modeling. It's very good. We will use this also a lot for our design. For beginners, it is actually a little bit more complicated to use. So we will switch to direct modeling. That's also the way how SketchUp, by the way, works. To go to direct modeling, we go to here, right click, and say do not capture design history. Very good. Next step, document settings, click here. We would like this to be centimeters. Very good. Navigation, middle mouse button, shift middle mouse button, scroll wheel. Also pan, rotate, and zoom. We can also rotate our views here or switch to particular views. Set this to orthographic, that's good. And here all our snapping targets are turned on. Okay. For the concept model, since we would like to explore a design rather fast, then lose ourselves in more labor intensive detailed tasks, we will use a method that blocks out the basic proportions visually and is sufficient for understanding the design. So we will start with a cube. Go to Create, Box, click here. Very good. Then click at the center point, and then we drag this rectangle out. And there you can see the dimensions. So what is 3.7 in my case should actually be 30. And then press Tab. And then that one should be 45. And enter. Then we can scroll wheel zoom out, shift middle mouse button rotate, and the height should be 10. Very good. So now we created a wooden block that has 45 centimeters length, is 30 centimeter deep, and has a height of 10. That's 50% of the part. The left side is missing. So what we will do is simply this cube, we will move, or not move, we will move a face of that cube. So go to push and pull, or press and pull, click on this face, then we can drag this one out and type in 45. Very good. And if everything is correct, when we click on an edge, it should say 90, 10, and 30. Cool. Okay. This top face, that actually should be at a height of 81 centimeters off the ground. So the whole object, since it is 10 centimeters high, has to be moved by 71 centimeters. Here's our browser, and there is this object. We can call this wood body. Now to move it, go to move, copy. This is actually where we do move, rotate, and move point to point, etc. So move command, this is good. We can move this up, 71, and enter. Scroll wheel to zoom out. Shift middle mouse button rotate. This looks good. This is now a very big piece of lumber, very heavy. And our design should actually show that this area is cored out. It's very fitting. Soon comes Halloween, the time of cider and donuts and pumpkin carving. So this face, we would like to, or better, from that face, we would like to core out this block. To do this, with this face selected, we go to Modify, Shell, and then we can move this. You see how it changes this, and then type in 2 centimeters, enter. Also, the nice thing is you don't have to type in the unit. You can just type in 2 because we are in centimeters. That is 2 centimeters. However, you can also type in any unit, so 1 inch, and then the software will convert that into the equivalence of in centimeters. Very good. So that looks pretty good. Here you see these 2 commands. We can select them, right click, and say dissolve. Good. Just a little bit of cleanup. Now we would like to build something here at the site. We can start this again with a box. So we can actually start drawing on this base or somewhere here on the ground. Since it actually should be connected here, it will make sense to draw on this face. So on this grid, click, and then now I can go to here, click, go to there, and then actually go down. Go to here, and you see it memorizes the snap point for a moment. And I had this memorized. And you see very easily it finds the left position and the height. Click, and this should be 2 centimeters. Very good. Okay, let's undo Let's try and do this one more time. Create box on this face. It finds then actually on the sketch the ground point. Click, memorize, go over to here, memorize. So I'm waiting for a moment and now I can drag this down. There we are. Click 2 centimeters. And this is now important. Operation join. We would like to not join this cube actually to this board, but make a new body. Okay. If we do not do this, not sure if you paid attention and saw what actually happened. You see, this is actually fused together. Okay. So undo. Here, I can select these two faces and use the shell command, 2 centimeters, enter, and shell this out. Pretty cool, no? Yeah, think so too. This element now, I would like to repeat on the other side. So I would like actually to turn this into a component. So right click and say create component from this body. And then this component we call leg side, for example. Very good. Okay. So the way how the component works, basically, if we make a copy of the component and move it to the other side, we can edit each component, which we will do, and that will adjust all components. Okay, so we do not make a copy of this body. We make now a copy of this component. You see how this is all nested. So move, create copy, go to point. And now this is my start point and this is my end point. The create copy kind of like got deactivated. Click OK. Cool. Okay, one more time. Move and copy. So this component from there to there. Okay. And now actually here you see leg slide 1, leg slide 2. 1 and 2 means copy 1, copy 2 of this component. So we used actually the height of the wooden part as the top position for the metal. That's not correct. We would like to move this down. Let me show you two ways. So I can select this face, go to push and pull, and move this down to 3 centimeters. Very good. By the way, there you see updated beauty of components. If I select this face, I can also go to move command, face, move, and move this down by -2 or 3 centimeters. Very good. You see? Very nice. Okay. Now, next piece, we would like to add a crossbar there. Super easy. Box. There. Just make this bigger, and then I will just here simply override all the commands. 2, 2, 2, enter. Also, this will be a component. So we can call this leg cross bar. Okay, very nice. So now we move this to there. So move component. So this component from there to there. And then this, I would like to move to there. So we go to move, actually face, that's correct, and say, so this corner to this corner. Suck. That's pretty awesome. We undo this and redo. We go to move. Since I'm not moving the component, now I'm moving a face of this component. I go to face, point to point. First, I need to select the face, obviously, there and there. Cool. Okay. Now we need to move this one up. Now we make a copy of that component. So this one, copy, and say this to there. Very good. Right click, repeat, move copy. Yep, this is all correct. And then this inner point to, come on, there. Very good. That is actually quite beautiful. That works out really, really good. So um, the steel construction is actually quite nice, also the component. And we have now a pretty nice basic idea of how this, for example, would work. We could adjust the height, bring this further down, maybe make this even smaller, make this higher. We could also shorten actually everything. So I select these two faces there, go to move, and shorten this by 10 centimeters. Okay. Now, obviously, now there you can see the rest doesn't follow it, but this is not really a big problem. We just have to modify and reposition all our other elements. So this is just, you see the snapping is a little bit tricky. So this move point to point actually is not going to work as good. But because I moved this by 10, I just moved this also by -10. No? So that works. And now here, there I can select base point to point and say from here to, I have to be careful, you select the correct point there, and you see all the other components moved with it. Beautiful. And then we'll undo all these steps. Okay, very good. I hope that at this point you started actually realizing how much you can get done just out of creating a basic cube and then using what we call solid modeling commands, kind of like for the shell, push and pull, move around, and working with the box, etc., and then the grid and snapping, and create already quite complicated designs. So let's practice object creation a little bit more and how we can make use of components to structure our design. And we can look more into how we can take this preliminary proportion and kind of like build a better design over it. And we will start with the legs actually. So we will create a box again. Very good. Honestly, it doesn't really matter where we create that box. So kind of there, move this up. This is actually red, and we'll explain what this means just in a second. It's actually, because it's intersecting with something, it is creating a new, no, sorry, it's not creating a new object. It's using this as a cutting tool. So that was similar to the join, can also cut, but we want to make a new object. There, very good. So there it is. And let's make a component of that one. So this component, I will also move to somewhere here and then go to this and make a, actually, no, we don't need a copy from there to there. Okay. This I will hide because this face now I will move from here to kind of like this edge on there. Target point. There. Very good. Okay. So this is a little bit similar to what we had here before, but I would like to create now a model that is more refined so that, for example, in a metal shop, they understand how I want the metal part to be cut. So check this out. It's actually super easy. I have to rotate these faces. So I select this face, go to move and face that is correct, but rotate. This is my axis tool, this one. And then I can rotate this to 45 degrees. Let's do this one more time. So axis, this one, 45, enter. Pretty cool. So now we can actually call this leg side short. Makes sense, no? Okay. When we have actually kind of like a component, I can make a copy of this component. So copy and paste. So Control C, Control V, or Command C and Command V. Then I bring this one down and rotate it. Ah, it works too. Bring this further down. And then I will go to point and say, well, this point to this point. Cool. Okay. So I have there my two short parts. Very good. Now, I will create a cube one more time. In here from the world center, and then say 2, 2, 2, new body. Okay. And then this make a component. And I will call this leg long, a leg side long. So it makes sense. Move this to here. And I will, so we know what's going on here. I can rotate this a little bit if I want, or I mean, not rotate, or I could move this up. So this component, I would like to move from there to there. Very good. And then I will go to face select. Oh, okay. I guess we have to. Okay, this one time. Oh, crap. Cancel again. Should never try something during a demo when I'm curious about it. There. Very good. So height. Now this face. By the way, I will do this already since I can see it. This is my axis. Rotate minus 45. Move. And then hopefully this actually will work. Let's see. So move from here to there. Yes, it does. Beautiful. This object I would like to hide because here I need to rotate this. Very good. Okay. I hope you start seeing how blocking everything out first really helps to create kind of like a framework, and then we can go in and model actually a new copy over it. So we make a copy of this. Zhup. Bring this over. And interestingly here it works. Now I can fine position it. There we are. Sweet. Now we see short 1, 2, long 1, 2. And check this out. Now I will right click and say new component. And I will call this component um, leg side. This one is pretty empty. But what I can do now is I can select these 4 and drag them into this component. And you see now the icon changed. And this is, if we want to call it this way, more what an assembly actually is. An assembly is when we have multiple parts put together into a logical unit. Also, the rest looks kind of ghosted. What happened? You see that this point here is active. When I click each point, I can visually isolate it and not see the rest. If I want to see the rest, I just click here. Very good. So this is actually working really well. So how do we now further structure our design? Right click. Where can we create a folder? New group. I was just curious. No, actually, that doesn't work. Okay, never mind. I thought maybe we could just um, create a group and put these parts in it. That's good. That's okay. We can keep it this way. We just later will have to hide these elements. So this is good. So from this one now, this assembly, we make a complete new copy. So from there to, yeah, where do we bring this over? And you see actually, because I would like to have something to snap, this other side will be super helpful. There. Very good. Beautiful. These crossbars, they are perfect. They're good, so they can stay. The only thing left to rework is actually now our wooden body. And that's kind of pretty basic. That's not the way how this should work. And we will rebuild this exactly kind of like the same way how we modeled the leg stuff. So new component. So I know 2 centimeters by 30 by 10. So from here, there, then I can say this is actually 10. This is 2. And this should be 30. Okay. Same deal. Rotate face. 45. Negative, obviously. Let's do the same here. Komm schon. Danke. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So this we will turn into a component. We can call this wood side short. And position it. Zack. Very good. Now we make a copy. And also here. I have to be careful of what you click at. There. Sweet. Then one more time. Here now, I don't really know the length. So this should be 10. This should be 2. 2, not 5. Very good. Then here, we do this rotate. I hope that at this point you start noticing while there are a lot of new commands to learn, the process is actually very repetitive. That's really the beautiful part. Gain component would side long. And I'm just making up the names on the fly. They should be logical. I mean, you can call it bananas, apples, and whatever. I just don't know if we would bring this to a wood shop to manufacture, if they would understand what we're actually doing here. Very good. That looks good. Now we make a copy of this and zip and position it. Sometimes in academia or so, they always say CAD is slow, sketching is faster. And I hope actually that this exercise already gave you an answer that this statement is actually not correct. You can sketch very fast or you can sketch very detailed. And you can, in CAD, work very fast and loose and then work slower and more detailed. So you should always simply select the appropriate process. Then the tool you use really doesn't matter. To me, actually, 3D modeling is like sketching, like 3D sketching, and all works together. Very good. So, last thing is we need a base. So the base is actually here. There, we make this a little bit bigger. 2 centimeters. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty big base. No, looking from the bottom actually really helps. So this, since I didn't make a component yet, it's just a body. This body I will move from there to there. Thank you. And then this face I will move from there to there. Thank you. And then this face I will move from there to there. I'm shot. Thank you. I need to click these targets. Cool. Okay. Let's make this a component. Wood base. The whole thing we would like to move up by half a centimeter. This is actually Z. Very good. And the problem is it is just as wide as, or it perfectly fits into the inside, so it would fall down. We would like to create some grooves. So check this out. I'm shift clicking these faces only, and then I go to push pull. Whoops, I clicked on the screen. Select one more time. And let's give this an 0.5 centimeter offset, so 5 millimeters. So you see actually it grew, all 4 faces grew a little bit. So why did we do this? Actually, it's sitting in there right now. So check out the next thing. That's kind of cool. We go to combine, and then we say from this one, I would like to remove this one, but please keep the cutting tool, so the red one. See that? And also check this out. Welcome to components, automatically updated. So we only have to do one more cut. So from this, I would like this to be removed. There we are. To bring this exercise to an end, I will show you how we can apply materials to our design, save our design, and then also create technical drawings based on the 3D model we created. And then these technical drawings we could share with a wood shop so they could make a prototype. So to create materials, it's actually super easy here. We go to modify and appearance. So appearance is actually only the visual look. Physical material, and that is actually if something really is a particular material, but we're actually more concerned here with the visual look. Okay, so let's click it. This interface is super easy. We can apply a material to the whole object or face. Here will be all the materials listed we use, and there is our library. So these steel elements or metal elements, I would look like polished brass. So here's metal, click, there's brass, click, scroll down, and here we have various materials. This icon here actually means we have to download the file. So we can apply that material. To make this look polished, we click and drag it onto the components, and that's it. You see, again, because these are components, components share the same geometry. If I apply the material to one component, the material is visible to all copies of that component. That makes it super easy. Now, instead of brass, maybe I would like this rather to be steel that is powder coated. Okay, let's go to paint. We have glossy paint, metallic flakes like on a car. So, and here is powder coated smooth. That sounds good. I have black already downloaded. We do the same. You see, super easy. Now here we have the brass material. We don't want this anymore. So mouse to here, right click, delete all unused. This is the powder coated material. Right click, we can edit it or double click. We can give this a name. Black is not the material really we can produce. The same like with white. So pure black, pure white doesn't really exist. So we should also not use this in computer graphics. So we will make this more kind of like a dark gray. Scale, rotation, roughness, and reflectance. Scale and rotation that basically applies to the texture, which I will show you just in a moment. And roughness, well, how rough should this material look? And how reflective should this be? Now, click done with the scroll wheel and then shift middle mouse button. We can zoom in a little bit. And there you see there is something on that surface. That's actually the bump mapping and that visualizes the powder coated look. So double click, advanced. And here under relief or bump, that's the texture that is being tiled over the geometry. So we turn this off, you see it's gone and it's visible. Powder coated obviously is a material that's a plastic material that goes over the steel body, and that would be too complicated to model. We simply rendered this look with a texture trick. And that's basically what this is doing. Again, I'm only brushing over everything a little bit because this should only function as an introduction. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. These gray boxes we would like to look like wood. Okay, scroll down, there's wood. double click there, walnut. What about mahogany? Okay, there. Thank you. Very good. Yeah. What about cherry? We can overwrite this material there. So when we zoom in, yeah, this looks okay. Also, this looks okay. This seems to be rotated incorrectly. And when we zoom in, this is kind of blurry. So that's kind of like the problem of image-based materials, particularly here with wood. Image-based, so that means this material, so double click, go to advanced, uses actually an image. And that image of this scan is being stretched over our body. But that's not very realistic. To show this even more, if we hide this and zoom, there you see we are not seeing the end grain. Something is missing. Okay, so to do this correctly, we go and work with solid wood. So think about the image-based wood, more like a two-dimensional texture, and solid wood, that's a true three-dimensional material. So when we go to finish, we have also here various materials. Let's select mahogany. Drag this onto it. There, there. Yeah, looks pretty good. So we zoom in, there we see everything is actually more realistic. When I select this and turn this off, look at that. There's the end grain. So you can see now what this means. Three-dimensional material. So on the faces, we truly, really see the correct, realistic wood material, like we would take a piece of lumber and cut it out. Also here, super easy to actually assign the material to everything as long as we don't get an error message. There. Okay. No, ash actually doesn't look too bad. It's just not a very nice, expensive material. Pine, anyway. What about walnut? No, it's nice and dark. That makes it look kind of valuable. And now we could maybe go back. Well, how would this actually look with brass? Oh, it's actually not too bad. Right click, delete material, so we can clean this up. This one doesn't go because we have here some older models and they use that material. So I think if I remember this correctly, we can apply this to there and there, and then the wood to there. And no, no, actually does not. Oh, maybe there is still somewhere unassign and delete. Yep, this can't be removed. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't matter so much. So cool. I love it when this happens. So that's kind of like a quick crash course into materials. Now to do a drawing, we need to save this file. So how is actually how are files handled in Fusion? That's a little bit different than with all programs you will have experience with, because the files are saved in your online account. Go to the dashboard here. And I will go to here, and you see I have already a lot of folders. I would like you to create a new project. Give this your first and last name, and then furniture design. I simply will call this furniture design 2021. So this is now a project. When we double click this project, there is nothing in it. Think about this project kind of like a folder. Now to this project, I can save this file. I have, as you can see, it already saved. So you will go save. I have to use save as. Then you click on this triangle. This will then show you this overview of all your projects. I'm actually right now in Wayne State ID. So I will scroll down till I see furniture design 2021. And then you can give this a name: console, table, direct modeling, actually console. Thank you. And then hit save. So there's now the file. There's a spinning wheel. Spinning wheel meant the file was locally saved, and then after that, it went online. That means you can now go to any other computer, log into Fusion, and download the file and work on it. And then the moment you save or close the file, like what I did, then your changes will be uploaded to the cloud. You also noticed that here there was an interesting C. That's actually C Klaas Kuhnen, my name. Double click it. Whoop, there it is. So that means currently I have this file open. We can go to people here. So I'm actually the moderator of this project. I could invite somebody to this project and then they get access to that file and can work on it. So this basically means I have this file checked out, so not somebody else can open it and overwrite my changes. Very good. Okay. Oh yeah, maybe one thing to note also here, V1, that means this is version 1. It was the first save. When we do changes to this design, then it will, every time when we save, version 1, version 2, and so forth. Okay. Now, the last thing left for this overview is how to make drawings. That's super easy. We will go to here, new drawing from design. Now, in this design or project, we actually work with centimeters or millimeters, so metric. For creating this, the drawing, only divisible objects, new drawing from scratch, standard ISO. That's actually okay. So you see here it says A3. So this is my, not my, that's a European paper format, not my paper format. Or you can go to ASME. Now this is in showing you the US paper sizes, maybe 17 by 11. Can switch actually now inside the drawing the units to inches. So for the American market. Click OK. Very good. Now this loads the drawing module. And there we are. Let me quickly explain to you the basic functionality. It's super easy to understand. And again, we will only cover the basics as an introduction. By the way, for those who know AutoCAD and the layout module, that's basically it. Here we have our drawings, move tools, dimension tools, etc. More stuff. And then here the drawing view. Under my mouse, you see there is the front view. There we are. Then we have various ways how to show this later. I would like visible edges only, not hidden edges, not shaded or shaded with hidden edges. And the scale, this is quite interesting. Let's type in 1 to 10. You see it got bigger. 1 to 5. It's actually really big. 1 to 1, well, it doesn't make sense because it wouldn't fit onto the page. 1 to 10. Okay, let's go 1 to 10. And then click and okay. Now there is actually my drawing from the front. Middle mouse button, we can move it to the side. Also here you see all the components which are being shown. So look at this. We can turn this off and on, and then it adds them to it. This is our base view, and now I would like to create a projected view. So I can select this, go to projected view, move the mouse to the left, move the mouse to the bottom or top. And here, there you can see I can make a 3D view. And click OK or right click. Or no, not right click. I guess we have to click this or press escape. Cool. So now we have more views. This view, I can click and drag and reposition. I can click and drag this view too, but then you see the others follow actually correctly because the top view has to align and the side view has to align. Okay. Down here we can add and change the text, etc. So double clicking goes into the edit mode, finish, make it out. Let's add some dimensions. Go dimension. We can click on this edge, click on this edge. No, there we have the width. Click on this edge to here. There is the height. What's the height of this piece? Well, what's the height of you and you? So you see how easy it is actually to add all this. When we zoom in with the mouse wheel, click on, not click on this, escape. So we stop adding more dimensions. Now I can manipulate this more. There, to make this easier to read. Click, move this up. Cool. Okay. Maybe here too. Let's give it a dimension. There. Thank you. The drawing actually, as you can see, will start looking more informative. Again, this is the process then how when you have a design, how we could document the whole piece together or individual elements. And then with all the dimensions, somebody who has to build this has a perfect manual. Here's the export function. And to save this, we will go to Save. I will go to the same folder. And there it is. I actually said here export PDF. Now, this is basically when we want to send this out to somebody, but we wanted to save it. Let me show you something that's actually pretty cool. So I will make this shorter, -5. Go back, and nothing happened. But now when I save this one, you will see this will change to version 2. Very good. I now go to my drawing. I will at one point see here this error warning. And when I click on this, that basically then will update the design. There you saw, it's updated. So you see, this basically means that the two-dimensional drawing is always reflecting the true three-dimensional model. And that's actually really amazing to work this way because in the past, before we had computer software at this level, we needed to make two-dimensional drawings individually and then really hope that in theory, everything being built from these drawings will fit perfectly together. In this case here now, I can digitally prototype a piece of furniture, create my drawings. I know these drawings are perfect as long as I don't get any warning. And I can send this out to somebody. So it's like a peace of mind. I know, or not I know, I know the drawing is correct. I do not have manually to make sure the drawing is correct. I'm going to click Save. properly here, we will get a version 2. 2. Yeah, there it is. Okay, that basically is everything for the first introduction of how to model a piece of furniture with Fusion using direct modeling, adding material, and then creating a small drawing. We can very easily simply close everything automatically. The software then will also save the files.